Maybe you saw him on Monday Night Football. The Avery Burton Foundation recently selected by Raiders defensive lineman John Jenkins in the NFL's My Cause, My Cleats campaign, where a player wears a specially designed shoe to promote their favorite nonprofit. And here to talk about it is Avery's dad, a guy that goes way back with me, like 30 years. Reggie Burton, you and I have known each other a long time. We were covering sports up in the Reno days back in the 1990s.
Thanks a lot, Dana. You just aged us both.
Yeah, I know. Well, everybody knows I'm old, but not you. You look young. And Christina Aldan, who's on your board of directors. So let's start at the beginning with your son, Avery. Unfortunately, he committed suicide 2 months after he graduated from college at UNLV.
Well, and we're going to talk about that. The language we like to use is he died by suicide, because we want to give that humanity to that person who struggled with that mental health, and that's what happened to Avery. He had a major depressive episode after college graduation from UNLV in 2017. So we started this foundation to help other families learn the lessons from what we experienced.
So I know that it was an incredibly painful episode in your life. Did you have any thought that that was possible, that could happen to your son?
It was we call it, Dana, we call it a parental blind spot.
Wow. And
that's why at the Avery Burton Foundation, we do what we call mental health first aid training. That is to help families, loved ones, uncles, aunts identify those signs and what to look for.
Excuse me, I caught a cold. Actually, at that same Monday Night Football game in which John Jenkins was wearing the cleats, and I definitely don't want to cough on you two. So, Christina, how do you recognize the warning signs, in your son or daughter to make sure that you can actually have conversations about what they're going through and try to help them in some meaningful way?
Yeah, that's what we do with the mental health first aid. And with that kind of training, you can learn, anyone who works with adults, anyone who works with the youth, you can learn the language in how to approach somebody, to recognize the signs and the symptoms early, and then use the appropriate language that maybe isn't going to trigger them to escalate, right? How do we de-escalate?
Yeah, you want to
how
go the
do
other
we
direction.
empathize?
For sure. Tell me how you got involved with John Jenkins. He's a defensive lineman. He's been in the league for years.
Yeah.
Big fella, he's like 300 plus pounds, and he was wearing your cleats this weekend, or Monday Night Football on national TV. There are the cleats right there.
So I went to the game Monday night to represent the foundation, so I got to do this. Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
Got to give credit to the Raiders. They reached out to us. They said, hey, Reggie, John Jenkins wants to represent your cause or your foundation as his cause. As it turns out, he was amazing. He had some family members dealing with mental health, and he said, man, I just feel blessed just to sit down and talk with you.
Well, so Christina, how do people find you, and how do people learn more about what you do, and how do people find out how to prevent this in their own families from happening to them?
Well, we offer mental health first aid training, so you can go to our website. It's averyburtonfoundation.org.
So we want to make sure that everybody get that. So you say it once, they don't get it, but it's averyburtonfoundation.org.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's easy.
That's correct. And you're going to find culturally competent resources as well, to look for a counselor, to look for a therapist, or an organization that might be able to offer you resources. And then you can also send us an inquiry about our next training.
So, I mean, if your child is showing changes, this is nothing to be ignored.
That's right.
You definitely got to go after it. Talk to them and hopefully open the lines of communication. We really appreciate you guys coming in.
The best tip, if I can give anyone watching right now, is just listen.
Yes.
Just listen. If you see something,
don't always feel like you have to necessarily fix it. At least listen to what they're going through. averyburtonfoundation.org.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.